What's up, guys? Hey. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? What's happening? Good, and yourself? Man, can't complain, man. Genuinely can't complain. So how are you guys doing? Dollar is selling today. Okay. So what have you guys been up to, man? What have you guys been up to? What's new? Any recent development? Any recent development? I like how you said okay. Yeah, that's what he sees, so who am I to dispute? So whatever it is, man, you know, so you don't have to argue. Like, the thing about me is that, like, when it comes to forex, I don't debate, you know. So if someone is saying something, that's on him, you know. Think I like so yeah, man. So yeah, but like, hey, man, I've recently been looking at some of the things, like when it comes to the market, right? So been hustling so that I can buy your course. Hey, okay. So yeah, man, like, you know, it's just like how it is. But like, when it comes to trading, everyone sees things how they like to see them, isn't it? You know, so you cannot dispute on that, because like trading is based on subjective, like one's perspective, you know, that's their own point of view. So not subjective, but more of like perception or one's perspective. So yeah, waiting for general reduction. Okay, so yeah, man. So those that are like, what are you guys thinking when you see gold? Do you think that it can go lower, or do you think that it has the probability of rising in value and obviously breaking above the key significant highs, man? You know, I think that will be something that is very nice to see. But one thing I can say is that, like, throughout the course of this year, we actually saw the dollar continuously reduce in value. You know, there's something, I mean, like the gold, you know, we have seen it reduce in value. So think it can go lower. So yeah, so those are the probabilities, you know. So, but again, remember that, like, even if gold drops in value, that is something that is worth noting. So let's say, maybe hypothetical scenario, right? You see gold dropping in value and you see dollar dropping in value. What do you do? I'm saying that, like, you see both of them dropping in value. So what is your hypothesis, or how would you view that type of situation? how would you view that type of situation? Remember, like, a wait to buy. Okay, so that would be your like reasoning. You just wait to buy and then you buy it, and then so, because I think it will be a nice experiment if we do see it, you know. So, but like again, like the same way that you view dollar, the same way that you view oil, silver, and also like gold, because like they can be viewed in terms of like the same light, right? I will wait for confirmation and sell. Confirmation, okay. I know at some point in time they are both gonna move in the same direction. Okay, sell one way, and then okay. So you know, for me, I can't argue with anyone, but like if you feel like those ones, like I want you just to go check what would be the reasoning behind it, right? Because it would be nice to see dollar drop in value. So there's so many things that are brewing under the US, right? But I'm thinking they're about to make a bag, you know. The new pipeline that's recently been opened after the Nord Stream line was apparently sabotaged. But I think like we all adults, we know who did it, right? So that will probably be something that is nice. So like we have yet to see how the US economy is going to is it the Baltic or what, yeah, how they're going to benefit from the new stream that was you know, pipeline that was actually like created. Let's wait and see, but I think that they are the main funders behind that. So I think that will probably sustain the dollar for quite some time, provided that it recently just opened, so we can actually start to see the dollar continuing to push a bit further to the upside. Remember that the narrative must be in perpetuity with the trend, so like kind of like move relatively in the same direction, you know. So people's perception need to be aligned with that, which is something that is very dangerous as well. 13 trillion worth of gold was what 13 trillion of worth of gold discovered in Uganda is about to change everything. Oh, I haven't seen that. 13 trillion worth of gold discovered in Uganda. Uganda is allied with what? With the US or which? Because like that's very important to know. But like we all know, man, African minerals, they are not African minerals. They are located here, but they are taken by the West, NATO, all those countries. They do take them. So you know. So the sad part is that like African countries are producers, while you know, those other ones are consumers. You know. So that's something that is very nice to see. But the nice part is that like we have seen more, like I think like we are nearing the end of the petrodollar, right? So remember that like even though the dollar is no longer backed up by gold, but it still behaves like it's still backed up by gold. So that itself, it's like, you know, it's not backed up by anything but its behavior based on the fact that it was used as a reserve currency. So it still behaves like it's backed up by something, right? So right now, like I think like with the Saudi, that itself can have a huge impact on the dollar. But remember that like as the dollar starts to reduce in value, now gold itself, provided that how the things are, they like the professionals or investor sentiments, how they are, there is a probability that they might not buy gold as of yet, because like remember, if you buy gold, you're buying it in what? In dollars. So that is still a problem when the dollar is continuously weakening in value, you know. So that itself can weaken let's say maybe your portfolio, so you can still lose money even though the dollar is increasing, the gold is increasing in value, as long as the dollar itself is reducing quite substantially in value, and to a point whereby now it's put in a position where it can be scrapped off as a reserve currency. I think that itself can have a huge impact on the dollar, though you might buy them cheap provided that the dollar has reduced in value. But now the question is that like if the continuation of the drop in the value of dollar continues to occur to a point whereby like the US economy kind of like it's in a brink of collapse, right? So what is another currency or an alternative currency that can replace that? So I think that is something that's worth noting, right? Like, for example, can we say that, like, okay, the probability of BRICS countries coming up with a new reserve currency, is it there? Can they do that? I think that will probably be something that is within the talks, because like once the reserve currency starts to diminish in value and starts to lose so much value in such a point where like it's moving at a rapid pace, that itself can be a position where the discussion for a new reserve currency it's required. Like, okay, BRICS, let's come up with something, because the BRICS countries, they actually like are producers. They consist of minerals. They have all these things. They've got metals, they've got oil, they've got gold, they've got diamond, they've got lithium, they've got everything, right? So they are in charge, so that can give them at least a cushion. And if you can look at it, India is building up reserves. China also, gold reserves, they've been accumulating, they've been saving. Food as well, China, so those things are very important to see, because like if we're saying that the gold stand, it's backed up by let's say maybe the dollar initially it was supposed to be backed up by gold, right? That means that like even the denomination of it was like more of like when you have $1, you have a portion of gold, right? It's like I've got $1, I've got $2. It's like you've got a portion of gold. It's like Bitcoin. You can have 0.001 Bitcoin, right? You have a portion of Bitcoin. You have a portion of a cryptocurrency, right? So the same principle still applies when you're looking at gold. So when you have $1, basically, if we were to look at it in terms of how what is that? Brentwood or what? I forgot. Not Brentwood, guys. I mean like the wood thing initially, how it was before when the things was backed up by before Nixon came and he was like, nah, I've got the gold, so you know what, these guys are suckers, I'm gonna take this thing, I'm gonna bounce. That's what the US did. That's why the US had the largest gold reserve, because majority of the gold reserves were stolen from other countries. That is something that people don't want to talk about, obviously, because it's America, But I think like right now the move made by Saudi Arabia is spectacular, like spectacular, man. They've been treating US like a side chick, man. They've been treating US like a side chick, that I text you, but like I'm slowly withdrawing, like Brenton Woods, I nearly messed it up. I thought it was Brentwood, but I'm joking, man. I couldn't pronounce it very well. It was not in the like top of my mind, right? So I think like that would be nice, to see how this thing plays out, So, but like even last year, beginning of this year, I did tweet. I was like, there are scenarios that are there throughout the course of the year. So I was expecting them to occur a bit faster. But I realized that, like, the strategy, hey man, listen, I want you to watch Hunter x Hunter, guys. When you watch Hunter x Hunter, go to episode 100 to episode 105 and 6, 105, 106, right? So there's a thing like when I've seen, like, this is one of the things that intrigued me so much, King Miriam, I don't know, King Miriam, right? King Miriam was busy playing, but again, that chess, that chair, it's like chairs, it's like what. So this person spoke about the philosophical approach to life itself, explanation in terms of strategy. He says that like the reason why he's studying this is able to monitor his opponent's movement and rhythms, right? He can be able to see how they behave. So King Miriam is like philosophical in terms of his approach, and the character that he portrays is philosophical, right? So that's why I say, like, go watch that part. It's not checkers. I forgot Barry game, the Chinese one, the board game, where you've got spies, you've got generals, you've got what, those ones. I think like that is something, because he was using that in order for him to see strategy. And when he was fighting, they actually showed him use the strategy, or like, okay, each and every strategy has a weakness, so the weaknesses themselves, they will eventually reflect. So if a person, I think you will get it, guys. I think you will get it. I think it's something that is fascinating. So that's one of the things. Even last year I did post and say that, like, you know what, China is not playing chess, just not playing checkers, is playing that game. But again, I forgot the name of the game, man. I forgot that. You guys know it, man. That board game, the Chinese board game, the one with like a lot of pieces. So China is playing that, right? So when China is playing that game, US is playing chess. BRICS countries, they're playing that game. The only thing that I view as a weakness in terms of the whole entire BRICS, right, is that last part, the S. So S isn't like not like the yams, but like, I feel like South Africa, the leadership we have, it's a questionable leadership. I think that can have a huge impact in terms of the South African economy, because like it slightly shows that like we are aligning ourselves and we are allies with other countries, right? It's like we are allies with NATO countries. It's like we're allies, because here is our president. Like, if you can look at it, right, we've got the US, we've got Brazil, we've got Russia, we've got China, right, we've got India, right? So the leaders of these 4 countries, they are not visiting any countries that are not allies with BRICS, or those, like, they're not visiting the countries that are not allies with BRICS. They're not visiting countries that are allies with NATO. They're not visiting the West. You've never seen their leaders go to China. No, I mean, you've never seen these BRICS leaders go to Europe, go to UK, go to USA. You've never seen any of them go there. But there's only one man who is going there each and every time. Like, our president Cyril Ramaphosa has been to countries that are our enemy, basically, if we put it this way, right? He went to UK. He went to go see the prince. For what reason? He went to go see Biden. For what reason? He went to Saudi Arabia to say, I'm going there to salvage the relationship between Saudi and Saudi Arabia and USA. For what reason? Why is he going there? You understand? So like, those are the things that you have to like kind of like question, like, why is he going there? Because if you go in there, it means that like you're going to do something that is a bit messed up for the benefit of your country, and you might actually betray BRICS. You might actually betray BRICS, like your allies. You might betray them, because like right now, if the countries are discussing strategic movement in terms of how to move, then Cyril Ramaphosa cannot be trusted with secrets. Cyril Ramaphosa cannot be trusted with secrets, because he might go and tell these people that are our enemies. So I think that the biggest weakness in BRICS is South Africa. The biggest weakness in BRICS is South Africa. That is something that needs to be strictly monitored. And I feel like Xi Jinping and Putin, I think that they need to nip it in the bud as soon as possible, because this is going to mess everything up. They need to nip him in the bud. Let me put it this way. They need to tell him, or like, amen, because he's like that guy who wants to have friends everywhere. Oh, this is my friend. Hey. But like, people be like, nah, we don't like you. We just want to use the things that you have, So I think this is something that is very dangerous, right? And again, like, remember that if that is the danger itself, it will be reflected here. The gold, South Africa is one of the largest producers of gold, one of the largest producers of gold, right? So definitely, as gold continues to drop in value, guess what? The rand itself is going to continue rallying, and that is something that is not good. So I think that is something that you guys need to check. Keep a close eye in terms of South Africa, how they conduct themselves. If you are not from South Africa, just keep an eye. Look at the way our president moves. Then you will see that there's something that is sketchy. Unfortunately, people don't see these things. Now, do not trust a person that has multiple friends. A person that has multiple friends, that's not a person to be trusted with. How does he maintain those friendships? Definitely, he's trading in something for something. And the sad part is that, like, if you were to look at South Africa is filled with a lot of selfish people, you know. It's filled with more the I mentality. I must succeed, I must make money, I must show people that I'm making money, there's so many I's in South Africa that they do not understand that when we talk about team, there's no I in team. If you are, you know, if you are in a position of leadership, I think like the best thing to do is to actually like go to the initial, go to like, for me, I like the Bible, I love the Bible, let me put it this way. I mean, like, if you want to see the blessings that arise when you are leading effectively, right, go check King Solomon. You know, when you go and look at King Solomon and you look at First Kings, you're going to see how he came about to become who he was, right? This person prayed, and you know, he asked in a dream, he asked God, so that, like, you know what, he requested the knowledge, not the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to discern between good and evil, and so that he may lead God's people. You know, he prayed that he may lead God's people in a manner. He prayed for understanding, knowledge and understanding, so that he may be able to lead God's people in a manner where he can discern between good and evil. That selfless act, what it did is that God saw that this person, within his heart, his main objective is to gain this knowledge so that he can serve my people. So God said, you know what, because you did this, you did not ask things for yourself, but you asked things that are going to benefit the next person. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you more than what you have prayed for, you know. So I think that is something that is worth. We need a leader that is concerned about the growth of the economy, the growth of his people, seeing his people succeed, you know. So I think that the last time we saw that the type of leader like that, it's Muammar Gaddafi. So that is the last person that actually like demonstrated those characteristics of a leader. So unfortunately, we live in a Sodom and Gomorrah type of situation. So it's very tough, man. It's very tough, and it's not even tough here, it's tough all over, man. Because right now you look at the South African industry, everything, not, when I say industry, I'm not talking about forex is like, those ones are just like, when it comes to forex South Africa, you know, there's so many things that are just, but let's not get into that. We're too old now, don't have time for that. Let's talk about things that are important. Right now, as we're discussing, someone is looking for a signal. He's not even trying to listen in terms of what am I saying. So it's something that is to be observed. So I think like 1300 will do, like 1.3. I think on this thing will do, right? So, but the question is only simple as you know what, because like, one thing that I want you to see is that, like, you know, this the beauty behind this concept is so delicious, you know. So you like, so it's so beautiful, guys. It's so beautiful, it's lovely. I think that the probabilities of us seeing a rally at around this level, it's a bit low, right? So if I were to look for a possible rally, you know, possible push to the upside, I would definitely look at somewhere around this area here. So I think this area here can provide a false, or can provide an illusion of a possible continuation, like a possible reversal, right? Definitely going to look at that roughly around what, March. This is cute though. This is cute. Is this March? Okay, it's cute though. I love charts, guys. Charts are, they are, they're a blessing, guys. I don't know about you guys, but this is just lovely, man. It's like every time when I turn on my workstation, it's like I'm falling in love again. Every day it's like, oh my god, I'm about to do this again. Like I'm just so excited. I'm just so happy that I can do this and just chill. I view it as chilling, by the way. Even when I'm studying, I'm just chilling. I'm just laid baking. So this is something that can be nice. So March, this is March, right? March, this is very cute. So I think that we're going to end the year on a bearish. That's one thing that I will say. We're going to end the year on a bearish, right? Or guess what? Our America, well, the Jawa America, they are very different from Jari Nawar. Again, or one America or what America or UK, so but for America, in the community we managed to get 10% off of this, and then we managed to make 50%, 30, 20. I think this is probably going to be something that we can look at. I think, okay, my hypothesis, right, is that like we're going to end the year on a bullish, but we're going to drop to such a point whereby, like, I think if we can get to this level here, that would be nice if we get to this by November, right? And then kind of like end the year on a bearish note, and then January and February kind of like make that type of movement like we are on a bullish, right? And then when we make that movement like we're on a bullish, and January, right? I think January we can just push drizzle nyana a bit nyana, just for fairness, and then there's a probability that we're going to drop into this area. So definitely around March, April, I'll either mid or towards the end of the first quarter or the beginning of the first quarter. The beginning meaning like April. So I think those ones, they can provide like great opportunities for long positions. But as of now, when it comes to me considering taking long position, I'm very skeptical about that, provided that like this itself, it's a very gevaarlijk level, it's a very gevaarlijk level. But unfortunately there are those that trade on a 5 minutes time frame, so those ones we can't take them seriously. There's a set 5 minutes, 1 minute time frame. There's a certain level of retardation that is associated with such activities. Sometimes you don't even have to, you just look and be like, okay, that's that. But I think that we're going to outgrow that. So but hey guys, you know what, hey, shout out, we'll finish this tomorrow probably, I don't know. So that's it, that's a wrap. Shout out guys.